Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Dead. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, second half bold predictions. I think we're finally going to get most of our group here on a Sunday night. I know the notifications have been really wacky, and then some of the streams have been sporadic. So first and foremost, did all of you guys get the notification? Please tell me yes. Please tell me that they are going out again, because I just want to make sure we got the team here, because this is one we have a lot of fun with our predictions. Sometimes we do the death predictions, but we're going to take it a little bit further and talk about some plots, some storylines. And there we go. That's what I'm loving to see, all the people out there saying yes. So good to have the whole family back. This is awesome news. We're going to bounce around quite a bit tonight. We're going to throw a little bit of comic data out there. We are going to throw a little bit of what we think can happen. And you guys know that we like to funnel it down. So we might start out, we've got a month left, so we're probably going to start out with some really bold predictions and sort of kind of X them and cross them out as we roll through. So I think there still needs a little bit more closure with the Jesus situation, with how this all went down. But was it a little bit, I'm not going to say discouraging because we didn't see it, but the fact that the Jesus death happened in the dark, and do you think Walking Dead is getting away from a little bit of the gore? Or was that just, hey, the best way to kill this character is kind of stab him in the back and then move on with it? On a gore scale, how much do you think that we're going to see? Because we know the Whispers are gory. We know skinning and decapitating and all of the above. How much do you think that we can see on AMC? Little bit, and then kind of take the camera away so it's implied. Is there the Whisper is gore, no doubt. Julia, I'm right there with you. Beta says an 11. And I guess, Fluff, it's not how much do the horror fans and the gore fans really want to see. It's how much can they get away with showing us before it's implied on, on this regular cable TV show. What up, Chai Dude? Thanks for being here. Appreciate all of you guys being here. And before we get too far into it, you guys just pike that like button. Come on now. This is the first time we've had the whole group back, like in full effect in a little while. So let's get that. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some major deaths. We're going to talk about the fair, how long they potentially could have been watching and looking and lurking. I think the strategy of the Whispers is something that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to try to figure them out before they figure themselves out. And with that, as we talked about, if you guys missed the stream a little bit earlier, I know most of you watched the playback. We did talk about Rosita's role because I think that it is a big factor. I'm not going to touch on that too much because you guys can catch the playback. But I think we saw a little bit of the mistake and the aggressiveness of this group. I'm not going to overdo that too much because I don't want to give the Whisperers any gray area, any sympathy. But I feel like Eugene and Rosita and Father G out there, huge mistake. Will there be some consequence for that mistake? And I don't mean from the Whispers. Obviously, that's bad. They're out there, they're kind of doing their own thing. And then that's what sort of instigates, and they're broadcasting and they're chasing and, they're tracking walkers, all of the above. What I mean by consequence is there going to be some blame and some regret and maybe some, if Michonne does make it through it, like, we wouldn't be in a situation if it weren't for you. And whether that's Father G, whether that's Rosita, are these bonds that have kept this group together for so long going to start to break? Because we know the Whispers they're a bad enough group. But if you start to unravel from the inside, that could be a bigger problem. The blame game, right? Where there's just confusion and there's no strategy and nobody can lead them. And then the Whispers got them exactly where they want them. Now, the radio could end up being a benefit later on. Maybe it's Maggie or somebody else that could come back and save the day. That's a possibility later on. But in addition to being probably outmanned and surrounded, the one thing that has always kept this group going is their ability to work it out, their ability to sort of bond and fight together side by side. And now that you're really split up into 3 communities, I think there's probably, and this is where we go with the funnel theory, I think there's 3, well, maybe 4 big possibilities of how I'll say it, our group can get back and even the game against the Whispers. All right? One of the examples. Well, Lonnie, I agree with you. Unity is needed. So one of the examples would be Oceanside. Can Oceanside be a player again? Can Oceanside actually, they kind of showed up from time to time, helped a little bit with Negan's situation? Or is the Oceanside story, is it done? Time to move on from Oceanside and look, these Whispers, it's the same thing with Negan. If you don't stand up and fight, next it's going to be you. Yep, just one of the examples I wanted to throw out there. All right. The second example, and I'm on the fence with this one. You got Morgan. You got Dwight. They're about 5 years behind. Possibility we could see Morgan and Dwight after all at some point, maybe next season, once we get through another season of Fear. The time skip is still a possibility. Michael says 100%. So it is possible. It would be interesting to see, like, wait a minute, we're watching them on Fear, but yet we're watching them 5 years later. You definitely know that they wouldn't die on Fear. Just something to kind of keep in mind. Whether or not we could see a brief Fear crossover. Here's something that I think would strengthen that as well. Bear with me for a second, and I'll get to the other 2 examples. Let's just say that not in Season 9, but in Season 10, okay, Season 9 is going to play out the way it's going to play out, and say we lose Henry, we lose a few other people, and then we kind of end with the border scene, or something like that. And maybe we see Negan ready to go, and then we see some other people. So the Whisper story is still not done. So then that ends in what, April? And then in like mid-April, late April, then we get Fear of the Walking Dead. So then we get a whole season of Fear of the Walking Dead before we get to Season 10. So they can be down in Texas, Oklahoma, somewhere in the Midwest, and sort of do their thing, but they still got 5 years to make up. And I'm okay with that. So then in October, let's say Season 10, we get a Morgan, Dwight, John. What if it's the Fear crew that actually shows up in Season 10? And then they just kind of keep going, and we're not stuck in Texas anymore. Maybe they go to like New York or somewhere it's a little bit different. Just because Fear shows up doesn't mean that they have to be a part of the show. They could kind of just be passing through. Or maybe they go to Washington, D.C. You say, you know what? We've been on our own too long. We're not going to hang out at Hilltop. Moving on. And then we're not stuck in the Midwest anymore. And not that there's anything wrong with the Midwest, but They might run out of story there. It might be time to kind of take it to a different level. Anyway, that's a possibility in my mind because of the time skip. How about option 3? Option 3 with the Whisper of War. How about a Maggie comeback? And this one I see as slightly more likely than the other two. I'm kind of going in Oceanside helps out, Fear helps out, possibly Maggie and Georgie. They bring reinforcements. Word gets out, Jesus is dead. And Maggie would definitely come back after the death of Jesus, in my mind, with some help. I mean, could you see Maggie showing up with like an automatic weapon, dog tag, like all militaried out? Right, Mitch? I'm not a super fan of Maggie. However, I might be a super fan of Maggie 2.0. That's one of my bold predictions, but not for this season, for season 10. William Finney super chatting. Super chats are fully active, so William, throwing it out there, just want to welcome my son, Kaylin Finney, new subscriber, new 999 family member, and I believe Maggie comes back with backup. Thank you so much. And William, I probably just messed the name up totally. Is it Kellen? Kellen, maybe? I'm going to try Kellen. It's an awesome spelling, but I can't say it. Keelan? Keelan. All right, that works. All right, I will never forget it. Well, I want to welcome Keelan Finney as well. Thank you so much for being a part of the 999 Army. Welcome aboard. I wrote it down, so hopefully I won't ever mess it up again. And thank you, Villar. Appreciate that. Villar super chatting. You know what, Villar? I'm going to read it because I know how you roll. Villar just wants to say thanks to Kills, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels, all the sponsors, all the patrons, and of course, all the super chatters. So, appreciate that. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. If you're watching the playback, there will be commercials. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take about 15 seconds, if you guys don't mind, and I'm going to make a commercial announcement. Tomorrow night on this channel, we are going to be talking Passage. I don't know if anybody else out there is going to be talking Passage. I don't know. I don't watch a whole lot of other YouTube channels, as you guys know, but we will. So if you guys want to catch, I have not done the backstory. I have not read the trilogy. I have not watched any of the previews. I've just seen a couple commercials, and it looked pretty cool, and several people told me they want to talk about it. So tomorrow night, if you guys watch the Passage at 9 o'clock, check it out. Watch the first episode, and if it sucks, then we don't have to keep talking about it. How about that? I'll watch it as well, and then we'll all get together, and we'll grade it, and if it's something that we can rally around and it's a lot of fun, and we'll do it. But I'm going to ask for your honest opinion, because they're saying on Fox this is one of the, it's one of the biggest premieres for Fox. I mean, we know they're limited as far as what they can show on regular TV, but it could have a good story. So we'll do it, and you guys hang out with us, and that'll be at 10:30 tomorrow night. So it'll be a little bit later stream. But the only thing I ask, and I asked that we did this with Fear last season, just, hey, give me your honest feedback. Just be straightforward, and if you think that it's not something that we have good topics to talk about, then we'll move on, and we'll do our thing. All right, and then, I did say there were 4 possible scenarios: Oceanside, Fear, Maggie. So here's another one, and this could be in conjunction with Maggie, in conjunction with Fear. Because if they start to tear this group down And by tear them down, I mean you've got your strong people taken captive. Your mostly emotionally stable people are in disarray because of the deaths and because of the brutality of the deaths. So, and then you got the blame game. So that's kind of everything, right? I mean, you don't really have anything left. Your emotion's gone, your power's gone, and your camaraderie is broken as well. So, to me, it narrows it down to 3 possible people, maybe 4. And I don't know if all these people are going to live. And you know what? I'm actually going to say 5. I'm going to say 5 and then I'm going to stop. I think 5 people could rally the troops. And for different reasons. Because I think each person would have something to prove. Now, one of these I don't know. As I said before, and it's not just going to be 5 people. I think it's going to be 5 people that would have to steady everything, come up with a strategy, come up with a plan. It was all Rick could do to come up with a plan against Negan. But the Whisperers are a different sort of enemy. And I personally think it'll be easier to fight back. I think it'll be easier to come up with a strategy because now you're against an enemy that pretty much just wants to kill you. So your choice is die or fight back. With Negan, it was a little different. It was die, fight back, live, conform, a lot of different things. So as bad as the Whisperers are, the better it is for us as an audience. Because now, you know, if we were against the Whisperers, we could kind of get together and say, hey, I'm pretty upset about this, but this is what we need to do. And the 5 people, and I'm going to start, as I talked about earlier today, with Rosita. The first thing Rosita has to do is live. Clearly, if she doesn't live, she can't be one of the 5 people really getting people together. And I do think because of her state and because of her condition and because she thought she was hallucinating and, you know, all of those things, I feel like they could protect her from the events of the fair. The events of the fair are going to be a huge, huge deal, and I think that's going to be the central storyline. So, first and foremost, Rosita has to not end up on a pike. So she's one of 5, but not my strongest candidate. Number 2 is Aaron. Aaron, the dude has a bionic arm. So that works in his favor. Whisper tries to stab him. He can probably, you know, block the machete. I think Aaron is going to give us shades of Rick. I think Aaron is going to... look, he can't replace Rick. Aaron is safe. But he doesn't have the instincts of a leader just yet. I don't feel like Aaron is the person that right away can just kind of rally everybody together and say, you know, like Braveheart. I don't see Aaron giving a Braveheart speech just yet. But I see him with the resiliency of Rick. I see him with the desire, the need to keep everybody safe. And I think the leadership is something that we're going to start to accept and start to adapt to. But I don't think they can do it too quickly because then it's going to look like a Rick knockoff and then we're not going to buy into it. So Aaron in coordination with some other people. So now I've got potentially Rosita and I've got Aaron. All right. Number 3, I'm going to have to put either Magna or Yumi out there. And I'm going to say Magna could be part of this recon group. Right? Earlier, okay, just to recap some people just tuning in. Oceanside, maybe they help, maybe they don't. Fear, maybe there's a time skip, maybe not. Maggie, who knows when they're coming back. So any of those things could happen, and we may need several of those things to happen. But there does still have to be like the militia. And that's kind of what I'm creating right now. I guess I'm creating the militia. It does officially have a name. I apologize because I'm not that far into the comics, and I do know there is a militia. So let's just go ahead and name them. This group will become the militia. So maybe Yumi's a part of that, but Magna could be one of the people really rallying the group together. So Rosita, Aaron, Magna, I'm down for those three. So then I've got two more. And I think both have a strong vested interest in getting rid of the Whispers. One would be Judith. Judith, if Michonne, Daryl, and Carol, and I keep throwing those names out there because that's what I've heard. Now, there could be others. If Yumi is taken, if Connie's taken, that would give a little bit more incentive. But I think you're going to see some of these people, they got to have something to fight for. Not just fight to save their groups, but fight to free these people up that have been taken. So I've got Judy in there too. And then, of course, Negan. I mean, Negan has everything in the world to fight for. Steph, the Cuervo Queen, is not going to give him a pass yet. But Steph and I are going to debate this a little bit more. The thing with Negan is, the dude has nowhere to go. And I think that's the last part that really forced me to accept him, is he's been in jail for a long time. He needs people. He's not the kind of person that's just going to survive out in the woods. He's not the kind of person that is just going to join the Whispers long term because he doesn't agree with their way of life. He needs people, and he needs to prove himself. The actor needs to be there. The story needs him, and they need to sell it to the fans. So that's kind of my 5. And as we talked about earlier in the stream today, somebody is going to have to really motivate Negan. And as I said, I don't think Aaron can do the Braveheart speech, so it's not him. Judy can definitely give him the, hey, help me out, and he's going to melt like butter for her, so he will help. Magna, maybe. Magna could be a person to sort of motivate him, but I really see that as Rosita's job. I see that as Rosita's value. She's a straight shooter, and I think she's somebody to basically tell Negan, stop feeling sorry for yourself, stop doing this, get it together, get out here and prove yourself and do it. I think Rosita could be a de facto type of leader. She could assist Aaron until Aaron can take the group under his wing and do it himself. If she survives. Big if. And with the 5 of them, I think they could organize a group, they could fight back, they could come up with a strategy. Oh, hold on. One more. Here's number 6. I'm going to give you, actually, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there and see if you can guess who my number 6 is, and it could be the MVP of the militia fighting back. I got Beta, the chosen one. So who are our 5? Beta, the Whispers don't need 5. They've got 500, maybe 5,000. They got armies and armies of walkers. No, this one is an off-the-wall prediction. Carol's probably captured. Judas already listed. I know some people are saying Tara. Michonne is probably captured. All right, so hold on. Let me help out. Let me help out a little bit. If Daryl, Carol, and Michonne are all taken prisoner. And we know that Judy would have incentive to free Michonne. Who would be the one to want to free Daryl more than anyone else on the show? Think with me for a minute. Put on your thinking caps. I need the 999 Army in full effect. Who would want to free Daryl more than anyone else? And that's going to be number 6 as far as the militia. If Carol is captive. Khaleesi, you hit it right on the money. The dog. The dog is a wild card, no doubt about it. Absolutely. So I see that. It sounds demeaning, right? Dog. But that's his name. I see the dog as the one, I can't say this person, the one member of the group. You guys think this is funny, but the one member of the group that's going to tell the difference between the people and the walkers. That dog has some skills. Not just going to be a dog runs in and kind of slobbers all over Daryl. That's not what I'm talking about. We have people in our stream that would do that. I don't think that dog is dying. I think that dog is going to be a valued part of sorting them out, splitting them up, scaring them, doing all of the above, sorting them out so the militia can sort of take them down. Now, there is no Dwight for the militia. And Dwight was a big part of the militia in the comic book. So, this could be kind of a makeshift group that's going to fight back. No, Emmy, I think he's good. Now, I would really like to see Ezekiel make it. See, to me, that would cover all the bases. I feel like Henry and Ezekiel are going to die. But let's say no. I mean, just for sake of having congruency. Judy for Michonne. Dog for Daryl. And if Ezekiel doesn't die at the fair, then Ezekiel could go try to free Carol. But I feel like, as much as we've talked about it, it just kind of feels like Ezekiel is not going to make it past the fair. So the Walking Dead nerd said, who are the 5 again? Rosita in parentheses, Aaron, Magna, Judy, Negan, and the dog. And I'm going to tell you, as much as we're looking for leadership, that's not a bad group. I would be okay with that group. Well, there you go, Jerry as well. Yeah, you know what, Chris, I think that's a good point. That's a great point. With Jerry, then we could, oh man. Chris, I guess it's good and bad. Oh boy, you just gave me that light bulb moment. Yeah, hey everybody, I'm sorry to Ezekiel's dead. Ezekiel's gone. And it's all Chris Raining's fault. Because what's going to happen is Ezekiel will die at the fair. Henry will die in front of Carol. And Jerry will make it his mission to save the queen. So now you've got Ezekiel's definitely gone. Jerry saves Carol, the dog for Daryl, and Judith for Michonne. It's perfect. And then you've got Aaron learning to lead, and you got Rosita and Negan, kind of your real enforcers there. Yeah, I don't. Eugene and Derek, Derek. Eugene and Father G. I don't see them being running in and saving the day. I'll believe it when I see it, but just their characters. Maybe Eugene can toughen up a little bit. I thought he was a little bit buff. I thought he was ready to go, and next thing I know, he's falling out of the tower, limping, crying, panicking all over again. Eugene is always going to be Eugene. I really thought he would turn the corner and his character would be a little bit different, but it's not going to happen. No. Darlene, I don't think there will ever be a Daryl and Carol relationship. I think that friendship is just, it's way too important to them. And we talked about this in the earlier stream. Still go back and watch it if you guys haven't. But I am going to throw the bold prediction out there. I think Enid takes Rosita's comic death. I think it's Enid because Alden is captured and Rosita is just sick enough to avoid all the drama. I think that's the way she kind of escapes it. Kind of the same way Tara did. I mean, Jesus got a death that should have went to Tara. And, you know, she got to stay back and take care of the hilltop. And you have Sadiq as the doctor. And if comic arcs play out, then you could call Sadiq Dr. Love because he might be the father of Rosita's baby if Rosita is in fact pregnant. I mean, they teased it. She was in the comic. She got decapitated in the comic book. Negan kind of threw it out there in the jail cell that he's heard some rumors about her. Tammy, I am always going to say Tara is safe. And by the way, where's Pete D? We're missing Pete D from our live stream. And I'm also, I mean, this isn't a super bold prediction, but I feel pretty good about this, that unless there is a Fear the Walking Dead reunion, Dwight's story is done. I know it sounds obvious because he's going to Fear, but I don't think they're going to tell any of Dwight's story or even refer to him again. I think he's full-fledged in Fear the Walking Dead, and we'll get that backstory there. Pete D will watch the playback, though. See, Stimpy Girl, that's exactly why Stimpy Girl says, please let Tara die. That's exactly why Tara will never die. Tara's just she's the one you love to hate. And there's a lot of people that like Tara. And even when I do these streams, they come out of the woodwork and say, why does everybody hate Tara? I can't believe you hate her. Well, because her story's just been kind of, just blah for a long time. But that's some of the beauty of it, is the more people want her gone, the more they're going to keep her there. And I think that's kind of cool. So keep her around. It'll be the most shocking death on The Walking Dead if something ever happens to Tara. I mean, she's not a pushover. I mean, she can hold her own. But there are stronger characters who have died. Eugene and Tara, they're going to live forever. Am I just missing Pete D? Maybe I just missed when I was scrolling. So Valar super chatting that Pete D is in the house. I must have just missed a couple of the comments. There it is. Oh, you know what it was? It was it's the new thumbnail. I didn't recognize it. Pete D says I'd like to push her over a cliff. Oh, you know what? We might need her. Pete confused me with the new thumbnail. No, what'll happen is we'll start to like her. And as soon as we start to like fully accept her and like her and want her on the show, then they'll kill her. Or they could be monitoring our streams and the moment that Pete D pledges his allegiance to Tara, at that point they're going to take her away. So Beta did mention this, I guess, with a Whisper 5. And we know Alpha and Beta, and we're going to get a few other names, probably a Gamma, a Zeta, a Theta, a Delta, Phi Slamma Jamma. Any Whispers other than the Cowboy, and other than I'm still waiting for the credits. I'm still feeling like it's going to be Monroe from Grimm. But not the real characters. Do you think that there are any Whispers that we are going to recognize? Not people that snuck in, whether it's Daryl that sneaks in or whether Negan is that's his big plan. But do you think that a couple of the characters that might have gone missing could potentially be Whispers now? Maybe a Sherry, maybe a Heath, maybe someone else? And I don't mean in a good way. I mean they've conformed. I'm just reading a couple of comments here. We're still live. We're still live, everybody. And, of course, we are going to get the X backstory. I don't even know where to go with it, to be honest with you. I think I've come up with 3 different theories for the X so far, and I don't feel good about any of them. That's a good point, Robin Mance. We still got Negan's wives that are out there. Now, I know this isn't Season 9 related, but I do want to say that I think Dwight's only got 2 possibilities, right? 1, he found Sherry dead, or number 2, there's clues leading him away. And I'm very anxious to see how the heck Dwight gets down there and has a reunion with Morgan. That's blowing my mind right now. Of all the things that I want answered, and I'm excited to see Fear the Walking Dead, actually of all the things that I want answered on both shows and the movie right now, I'm more interested in how Dwight ends up running into Morgan. And how easy that's going to be for me to accept that. It's just the nature of when I break down a show. I either have to have it as strongly believable, totally unbelievable, or slightly unbelievable, but I'm okay with it and I can gloss over it and move on. So Dan Lawrence says, I wish I liked Fear the Walking Dead because They're taking some characters I love. Dan, I don't know when you stopped watching Fear, but I do have to tell you that at about midway through 3, I was struggling. And last season, several of us just made a commitment to give it a shot, and I really liked it. I'm not going to go so far as to say I love the show. I don't love it. I'm starting to like it a lot. I think it's a good watch. I think they did some really cool things last season. But one good season does not sell me. They need to come back and do it again. But yeah, I did think it was good. Omicron says, do you think any Whispers are going to join the survivors other than Lydia? Omicron, I've been kind of back and forth with this one. And I don't know. I don't know if they're going to kill them all. I don't know if they're going to accept a few of them. What I really feel like should happen and what I want to happen is I want a lot of them to escape. I want them to retreat. The story is about our group. I mean, and their interactions with other people, not vice versa. But I would be okay with them just always being out there lurking, or at least for a couple more seasons. Because to me, that's what evil is. I just don't think that evil rises, evil falls, evil rises, evil falls. I feel like evil is always present, and you just can't get rid of all of it. So I'd be okay with small patches of them always being out there, and then as soon as you let your guard down, somebody gets taken and decapitated. Because there's always going to be a lot of walkers. So you got like your own instant army. Michael, I watched, I am sure Gotham is a great show. I did not have the time to watch it. And because we're so far into it, I never really jumped into it and wanted to do talk live streams about it. It's certainly a show I could watch for enjoyment, though. There's Gamma. I see all the Whispers showing up. Robert says, what's your prediction for Commonwealth? Robert, I'm hoping like 11. Like way into 11. I think they got to milk this Whisper story for a while. They can easily do it the back half, and I'd like to see the Whispers in some capacity all next season. Kills, do you think Alpha and Beta are brother and sister? No. I don't. Because I think in some of the comic, he's a kind of former basketball player. Not a whole lot's known about her, but he has, I think he has some jealousy of Negan in the comic that just isn't like brother and sister jealousy. I think The Walking Dead would be very interesting with multiple threats. You got the Whispers that are just out there lurking. You got the Walkers that are still going to be a force. You've got other communities you're going to run into. I think all of those things. And then you still got the potential to kind of unravel from the inside. Once this thing is mostly solved, there is going to be some finger pointing, and especially if there's some death involved. We got Pete D super chatting. I will build a shroud. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I will build a Tara shrine if it will get her piked on the show. So Pete is he's pulling the okey doke. He's trying to convince the Walking Dead writers that he is a Tara fan to get her the early exit. But I think they're going to see right through that, Pete. Yeah, you're going to have to come up with like a really, really good meme and post that on the Facebook forum. So, hey, that's a lot of bold predictions. Everybody, we're going to wind this thing down. We're at 45 minutes, and it's good to have the group back together again. So I expect that we'll be kicking off full steam. Before we end this stream, let me say a couple things that, number one, thank you so much. You guys know exactly what I'm thanking you for. You guys just tremendous support for the last couple weeks. We're moving forward. We're moving along. You guys are absolutely amazing. I would not be here without you. Secondly, tomorrow night we are going to we're going to do something a little different. We're going to look. Hey, we're going to talk about Stranger Things when it comes out. We're going to do Game of Thrones, but tomorrow we are going to do Talking Passage. It's going to be right here after the Fox premiere of The Passage. So if you guys want to get together and talk about the TV show, what you liked, what you didn't like, some interesting storylines. When we do stuff like that, I think it keeps the writers on point. So maybe if they start seeing these big followings and these big groups talking about it, it's going to challenge the writers to come up with a better story. So tomorrow night at 10:30, we will be talking Passage. There will be no 9:30 stream tomorrow night. So it's going to be a later stream. Tuesday, we will be back with Random Things, and that will be on the 999 Army channel. So we're only going to focus on 3 channels right now. That is 999 Gaming, your comic book reads, your caption contest. We're going to get 999 Dad Topics here. We're going to do Talking Passage. And Random Things is your channel, the 999 Army channel. So that's my announcements for tonight. I got Whisperer Zeta. See the whispers? They're there. Plot twist. We put Tom Brady. No. Not Tom Brady. Wow. You know what? Now you're going to have to deal with Steph the Cuervo Queen, Whisper Zeta, because you know she is a hardcore New England Patriot fan. But yes, Brady was in rare form today. We'll see how Brady and Mahomes. So last question of the night, completely unrelated to The Walking Dead. Just really quickly, if you're a sports fan, Chiefs or Patriots next week? Who are you guys taking? Are you guys taking the great Tom Brady, or are you going to take the young, amazing Patrick Mahomes? Let's see where you guys stand on that. Just kind of curious to see where the audience is. And there you go. See, now your comments are a permanent part of this video, so you can't change your mind later on. Let me give a quick shout out. Hey, there you go. And let's make sure this guy doesn't show up again. Thank you, Emmy. Hey, you know what? We create our own little niche, but yeah, there's people that always find us. I guess that should be flattery at this point. When we do our streams and there's just one little crazy nerd that pops out of nowhere and has something bad to say, we should just start taking it as a compliment. William Finney, super chatting. Go Steelers next year. William, you guys got to figure out something about Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. So we got the crowd back together. We got people super chatting. We got a schedule. Oh, one more thing. If you guys check out the Walking Dead 999 Army page, special shout out to Kel for throwing a calendar together. You'll see the way we're going to stream the rest of the week. And so after Random Things on the 999 Army page, Wednesday night at 9:30, we'll do our Walking Dead topic. Thursday night at 9:30, and of course our Saturday, Sunday should be unchanged as well. So give me some quick 999s. I'll do some shout outs to everybody that's here. I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons in top left-hand corner. Support the channel through a third-party website. If you're interested in becoming a patron, there is a link down below. Patreon sponsors go to things like a contest. They go to advertising. And they also go to donations like the Humane Society and something that I do as well on the side. So you guys be passionate about stuff like that. Pets are absolutely amazing. Top right-hand corner, sponsors. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. The moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, always a pleasure. They do a tremendous job. We also got super chatters here tonight. I want to shout out to William Finney, Valar, Beta the Chosen One, Pete D, and who else we got? Whisper Zeta, William Finney again, and also Valar again. So double super chats. We got 2 Whisper super chats tonight. So thank you so much. This guy is like unbelievable. I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to mention his name again. So anyway, let me give shout outs to the real 999 Army, not the person that keeps making multiple accounts and popping in here. That we don't want you here. All right. Here you go. Michael Curie, thank you so much. Robin Vance, DD Ohio, Colleen Hayes, Sheila Mack, Lisa Khaleesi, Valar, Robert, Walking Dead Nerd, Keelan, thank you so much. Hippo in the house, Eric C. Let me say this to the 1 or 2 trolls that pop in here. Do you guys not see how many people, look at all these people typing 999, how many people love this channel? Don't you feel like outnumbered? Don't you feel like just a minority that you shouldn't be in here? That's like, hey, why not just bow out peacefully and say, wow, this is a great group. It's people, awesome group of people want to be here, and you probably shouldn't be. Jeanette Person, thank you so much. Marcia Cooper, Whisper Zeta, Mitch Puddin, Julia Muse, Darlene Reinig, thank you so much. Teresa Siders, appreciate you being here. RJ Guerrero, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Maggie B, Deborah C, Chris Reinig, Drama King, New York City. Bumblebee Brown, thank you so much. B Squared, Ozone 60, Leanne Gash, Wilson. This dude has officially, you crack me up, man. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to give you a shout out if you create 10 channels to try to get something, but you get blocked like every time. Whisper Zeta, troll heads will be on the pikes. Andrea McSherry, thank you so much. One Conscious as well. Albert Arthur, it's a pleasure. Ramona Heath, thank you so much. Omicron, pleasure. So Lisa Khaleesi, thank you. I know I missed a ton of shout-outs. I'm going to wind this thing down. Pete D, before the dude gets smart and figures out how to leave a post that doesn't get blocked. Uncle Creepy, thank you so much. Our milkshake brings all the trolls to the yard, and they're like, absolutely. Deborah Johnson, thank you so much. You guys are absolutely awesome. Good to see the Army back in full effect. I will see all of you here, hopefully, at 10:30 tomorrow night to talk a little bit of Passage. And if the show's not good, then we'll use Mondays for something else. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.